Hi, I'm Jessie Buckley, and this is how I became Agnes.
Is it true? You know everything about a person by touching them here?
Not everything.
It was instrumental to how I became Agnes. I remember when I was in New York filming The Bride, he was there filming History of Sound at the same time, and we spent a little bit of time together. And he said, he said one thing to me on one of the nights, and I was a bit pissed off with him, if I'm being completely honest. But he said, I'm going to hold your fire. And I thought, good luck. But he did. And I think, he's such a giant artist and a giant heart and an incredible man and an incredible team player and co-lead. And it really felt like the biggest elemental parts of each other could be held by each other in this. And he's somebody I really feel that I'm going to meet at very important moments of my life and have very seismic shifts with as actors and also as people. And I think he's extraordinary. I mean, the Agnes that you see, it wouldn't exist without him.
Do you not wonder what is in it?
In what?
The play.
I did a little bit. I mean, the book was so powerful. Like when I read the book the first time, it really just hit me so strongly. And probably in my early days of prep when I was nervous, thinking, where do I go? Where do I start? I was asking her, like, what books did you read? And looking for where her embryo of inspiration might have come from. I bought the books, I never read them. They're like How to Become a Tudor and stuff like that, but I didn't need to read that. But we shared some Mary Oliver poetry together, which was, I could just, their poems are so distilled anyway, and I could almost envision why she had that poem up on her board when she was writing this book. But she created such a rich character in the book. And it was also, sometimes books can be a bit stifling, but there was such life in this book, like they felt so human that it didn't feel like it was an end point. It really felt like a beginning and somewhere that I could take the thread of it and create something beyond the book itself.
To die, to sleep, perchance to dream.
What do you see?
Chloe's process is about being as present as possible, and she really isn't interested in a facade or a mask or acting at all. She wants you to be in a place of being, and I want to be in that place of being too. I don't want to be in consciousness. I want to be in an unconscious reality of the world that we're all living in together. And I think what she ignited in me was to discover Agnes's language within myself, and something that transpired throughout filming was I have always written quietly, but it really became a tool for me to discover Agnes's internal language, but also her language of nature, how she, works with plants, how she navigates herself between life and death. And so she kind of prompted that, I guess, just in how she works.
The women in my family see things.
What do you see?
Well, whenever I'm building a kind of physical character, I just kind of follow my nose about what I'm responding to. And I don't know, like the color red was very apparent to me when I read the book and read Agnes and read her in the script. And Malgosia, both of us really spoke about what is the color red? Like, what does it represent? And something very raw, almost like it was a beating heart, that it needed to have that kind of density. And then my friend, who's a choreographer called Bobby Jean Smith, has this incredible, I was working with her on The Bride, and she has this incredible long hair that she's never cut her entire life. So I was just taking pictures of her hair around set and the bride, sending them back to the makeup artist saying like, I think she's never cut her hair in her life. She doesn't comb it. It should be this length, this brown. And then giving birth. I hadn't given birth at that point. And Agnes is somebody who's so uncompromisingly engaged and connected to her body. And luckily I'd just been from working on The Bride, where we had been dancing a lot and it was really intense and charged. It was really in my body by the time I came to shoot Hamnet. But I hadn't been pregnant, and I would I would take home the prosthetic pregnant belly that you can strap onto you, and I'd wear it around my house in the garden. And my husband would see me pulling bags of leaves with this prosthetic pregnant belly in the back, just laughing at me. But I wanted to know what the weight of that might be, and I also was really wanting to become a mother at that time, and it was very moving to me to feel what that might be. I mean, I think her own relationship to her mother was so deep. And what it meant to her was love. The epic scale of love that, and that's what it, when to become a mother, it's another love is hardly enough of a word to describe what that is. And with all kinds of love, it's so dangerous to love as intensely and deeply and stratospherically, because you might always lose it, and you will ultimately. We're all gonna die, whether she goes first or they go first. And she had that foresight that she was only ever going to have 2 children at her deathbed, not 3. So there was this stalker almost surrounding this incredible new life in her children from the moment they were born. But I think ultimately it came from love.
What do you wish to do, Hamnet?
I shall be one of Father's players.
Will you be brave?
Yes.
Will you be brave?
Well, in our rehearsals, the weeks leading up to rehearsals, Chloe had us as a family do a dream session. So, and just kind of get to know each other and really just let our kind of unconscious minds run. But very quickly we felt like a family. Those kids are incredible. I love working with kids because they're very honest and they have no guard up, They kind of act like they can act like they're adults, but they're so porous and they so believe, it's absolute. When they really lock into the believing part, it's so total. And that was my experience working with all of them. And Jacoby Duke, we just were had a really strong connection, and it meant when we had to go to harder places, we also had each other. We could kind of protect each other and also go exactly where we needed to. But yeah, they're incredible.
Never forget for a moment.
Mama.
They may be gone.
Mama.
My boy.
He lives not.
It's not like a list of doing things. I think when you we more or less shot in chronological order. And so you're just kind of stirring the soup, up until that point, and then trying to meet whatever is asking to come through in those moments. I had no idea where they were going to go. I don't know. I don't have an answer of what grief is. I had an experience of what I imagined the grief of this family could be, and what I felt by just looking into the face of this little boy, having lived a little bit of life in our version of life with each other. The end was really hard. It was very scary to get to the globe after going on this massive journey, for so many reasons, because it was, all of my heart was completely cracked open. And how do you bring all of that together, and all of the story that we've traveled together, and like bring it to some sort of a close? And this character had never left her hometown. She was going to an unknown place called the Globe, which is also like, sounds terrifying. And going there to understand why her husband had stolen the name of their dead child. You know, and in the first 4 days of it, I was kind of I was just completely lost, to be honest. I didn't know how to navigate myself in this space, in this end, in the like culmination of everything that we'd traveled through. And then I realized that actually being lost was the most honest thing, and actually I needed that to be seen. It was too much, and there's so much in that lostness, like vulnerability, rage, you know, seeking, looking for little anchors. But as an actor, I still was coming home being like, oh my God, this is this is horrific. Everyone's going to know how bad I am, and how dare I how dare I end this film like this. And then I listened to Max. I was driving home from set on the 4th day, and Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight came in, and it just like struck something in me. And I sent it to Chloe, and it struck something in her. And then I realized that there's something bigger than just your pain, and that's being in a community. And there I was in the middle of the Globe with 300 extras who probably had come with their own unspoken grief and pain and love and seeking, and that Will Shakespeare, my husband, had taken something so private and personal to create a vessel for all of us to transcend the parts of us that are too much to hold by ourselves through. And it was a relief. It was a relief to discover that. But it was good that it happened in real time. I'm glad for all the uncomfortable bits. The last 2 days was Agnes saying goodbye to the house. And everybody had finished, you know, all the kids had finished. I was on my own in this house, and that was really, really moving. You know, I'd spent a lot of time and in this house, and it was empty, you know. And there was one piece of music, this Lisa O'Neill piece of music called Old Note, which had been one of the first pieces of music I'd sent Chloe, one of the first pieces of music I sent Paul. And I remember standing in the attic, and I asked Chloe to play this piece of music. And I just, like, it just destroyed me. I think Chloe was like, no, you can't. You can't do that. Pull it back. But I had to say goodbye, I guess.